Hello everybody, welcome back to a new One Punch Man the Strongest video. As the title suggests, we're doing a tier list for October 2025, and before the video begins, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Join the Discord server in the description down below. If you'd like to support me, please share the channel around, or add a little box in the bottom right corner, and you can maybe leave me some coupons for character pulls later. Anyways, let's get right into it. So now you may see this is the August 2025 tier list. However, there is something slightly different. I switched main team and must pull. Now, personally, must pull is going to be a little different here. Now, the reason I did this mostly is because main team does not need, because not everybody on the main team is a must-pull character. For example, Sonic, Metal Bat, and Carnage Kabuto are all, like, very much optional. But for example, Giro or Garo are not. Now, another thing that's very important is Deep Sea King, Alloy Plus, Metal Knight, which I'm thinking about dropping, but I'm not entirely sure. Child Emperor, Zombie Man, I'll probably drop Zombie Man too. But so these 5 characters are essentially needed. So you can put characters from must pull onto the main team, but you can't put main team on must pull because the main team is like whale only pulls. Does that make sense? I don't know why I'm asking, as if you guys will actually answer. So anyways, let's get right into this. So as the first change, as you were seeing, I did a little bit of swapping around, but so this is currently how it's looking. Imagine that, so anything that is in main team is something that is going to be the base or like very strong team for a whale. And anything in must pull is a character you can use in substitute, or you can substitute characters in the main team for those characters. That's why I felt it was important to make this distinction, or to make this change, because it gave more freedom in my mind to sort these characters. So, first of all, gonna drop Metal Knight down a good bit, as stun does not work on Garo. I didn't realize that until very recently, not until he came out today. I don't really read the character skills until like last minute. So, now main team consists of just Carnage Kabuto, Sonic, and Metal Bat. Well, what I will add to main team is going to be Pig God. Now, this does up until, well, actually, this is more for like a modern day kind of thing. So, for example, you need Child Emperor. He's going to be on the main team regardless. Pig God is a very good character. I have learned my lesson. I ranked him way too low on the August tier list. I was ranking him more as a optional character to, pull for, but he is definitely a very strong character. And it is a little sad that he drops off once Giro comes out, but he is still wonderful for a team too. Now, next up, gonna put Genos on main team. Now, he is very strong. He completely ignores specialized unyielding, and he also does an insanely large amount of damage. Plus, he has been shown to possibly beat Garo or Carnage Kabuto teams by himself. Not necessarily by himself, but, he can beat them. The reason I don't put him in a must-pull character is because he isn't really needed, but I would recommend getting him. But on the other hand, we have to wait until Boros. But next up, we're going to move Goketsu wherever I put him. Hello, where are you, Goketsu? There you are. You're gonna drop down to, yeah, seems about right. You're gonna drop down to about A tier. Now, again, Genos completely bypasses Goketsu. So, while he is still a great character, he does lose a lot of value as time goes on here. Now, the reason I moved Fubuki and Zombie Man down to S is simply because they got replaced on main team or must pull. They aren't necessarily needed anymore. as Fubuki is a seemingly a little bit watered down pig god without as much support, and Zombie Man is a slower Sonic, and Sonic is just better overall. Now, what's also important to say is that I believe that Melzergard has gained value. Explicitly, oh, hold on. He was behind Boros, I think. Now, I think Melzergard is a very high S. This is explicitly because he does what Garo does, except for he does no damage, which is not great. However, it is still a good tank, and it's actually pretty annoying to deal with, especially if you're just trying to get rid of characters on like maybe a second team or a third team. He is very good at protecting other characters from a character like Carnage Kabuto or Drive Knight. So then also I'm gonna drop Mosquito Girl down another tier. She once again is completely and utterly useless as Garo completely annihilates and nukes your team. She can't even, like, her mosquitoes last a single hit, and that does not save you because you are still taking like 3 billion damage to the face. So not super nice. Now, another thing that does help is I believe Metal Bat is also gaining some value again. Now, this is mostly just because he increases crit, and thus you can crit more on a character like Garo or, say, Melzergard. But he isn't really good for his damage anymore, and his Awakening 2 does gain even more value than it had back during when he came out. Now, also, another character that gains some importance is Hellfire Flame, as he reduces the critical chance of characters in your enemy's front row to, like, I think minus like 40 or 60%. So, that is also wonderful. However, the characters need to be in the front row, and they often aren't, because Garo's protecting the front row. So, he is good, but you might have to pair him up with a King if you can get high enough resistance on Hellfire. If you can pair him up with King, you can lower the crit rate of the back row and see how you can do there. Another important thing I need to note is that I should probably put Boros in the must pull. Now, the reason he's in must pull is simply because he's a great core 3. He's the best core 3 you can have currently. Actually, Gary, you could probably replace him if you don't have Boros, but also you'd have to have Gary, so that also sucks. Now I'll also drop Genos and Flashy Flash and Deep Sea King down to A tier. They're good sub DPS. However, Garo doesn't need a sub DPS necessarily. Garo himself is the main. He just annihilates any other team build. He is a one-man team. You can basically build around him, and you're going to be overall in a pretty good position. Also, I will drop Siryu, G4, and who else was I thinking about dropping? And I will drop Sonic down to B tier. This is more because they got power crept more than anything else. Not Fubuki. Tatsumaki is still remarkably okay. Definitely not a top tier. However, with combination with G4 or simply well built, she does compete with Siryu. So, I mean, overall, very similar damage numbers. I will actually drop Metal Knight down again because, again, stun just does not work anymore. Actually, I'll probably drop him down as like high C because good for team 2. But if your opponent has maybe Hellfire Flame, Mosquito Girl, or Garo, then Metal Knight is dead in the water and you can't do much about it. Also, I will raise Subterranean King from F to a high B. Now, this is a very dramatic change, actually. Now, I make this change because I do see his worth. He does work, except for on Garo. That's the best part about Garo, is that things just don't work on him, and it's wonderful. But it's undetermined whether he is useful in a fight or not. I imagine he'll gain a little more value because I don't believe Genos is immune to deterrence. Let me just double check. Yep. So Genos is not immune to deterrence, and I don't imagine that UR plus Boros is going to be immune to deterrence. So he may gain some value in the future. So those still desperately grasping onto Subterranean King stocks, you can keep those and hopefully see an increase. Yeah, I don't know. But so yeah, overall, this is where I'd see the tier list at. It's a rather even distribution, surprisingly enough, to my own eyes. Which is kind of weird. It's very bell-shaped. So clearly they're trying to go. Clearly my opinions are being swayed by something. But also, something very important is that I will add Atomic Samurai on here because he is going to be a pretty decent tank in the UR Giro era. Explicitly 80% non-crit damage free if you don't get hit by a crit, obviously. And he heals himself, plus he lowers HP on characters like Garo or Drive Knight, which does help with not taking so much damage. Also reducing specialized unyielding if you need to deal with that, or if you just don't pull Genos. Because I don't believe it's as easy to break it on, say, Garo or other characters like that. Other than that, there is speculation on UR plus Boros. The speculation I see, and what we do know, is that he is going to deal some sort of counter. So I'm thinking he may be a similar deal to a Carnage Kabuto character. And that really makes me sad because I would really like to not have to pull or decide between Genos or Boros. Those are like my two favorite characters in One Punch Man, and they're making me decide between one or the other, and that makes me mad. I'm not happy about that. Actually, I'm very annoyed, but I hope I can get both. And if Boros, if UR plus Boros is bad, then that will be very sad. But my own speculation is I will put him in the must pull. Now, explicitly, I put him in the must pull because I believe his damage is going to be comparable to Carnage Kabuto, with the counter as example, which is confirmed. His role is DPS counter, or not DPS counter, but counter DPS. So he counters and stuff. That's explicitly, or counter attack. So the appearance isn't confirmed, but I just kind of edited the Boros picture a little bit, and put a plus from the Genos. But that's overall how I will rank these characters. If you have any questions or concerns, please do voice them. I would like to know. They're very important, as I didn't do a community tier list this month, and I might do one near the end, but I am at 2:20 a.m. and I didn't get this done, so I need to hurry it up. Anyways, I hope you guys all enjoyed today's One Punch Man the Strongest video. If you did enjoy, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Join the Discord server in the description down below, and if you'd like to support me, please share the channel around, or you leave me a bit of coupons from the little thing I showed in the bottom right at the start of the video. Anyways, hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Before this video ends, I'm going to shout out the channel members, being Thaddeus is Cool at S-Class. Thank you so much for being a member, and also, I'd like to make a couple announcements before the videos end. 1, we're not getting Season 3 characters until December. We're not getting Season 3 characters until the end of December. So, around January. So, for New Year's, we're going to get some Season 3 originals. 2, once I reach $100 in the channel revenue, I will do 4 giveaways of, 4 giveaways of the level 40 hero backup stick. Now, if you guys would like better, I will instead do 10 of the normal hero backup sticks. But here is my total estimated revenue so far, being $13. And so this is how I would say is probably best. Also, if I go to my dashboard here, it says 13.91, so I'm almost at $15. And if once this reaches 100, I will do that giveaway, and that will be hosted on the Discord server. So another reason to join. Also, it is confirmed that UR Plus Boros is the next UR Plus. And then there is going to be an event where you can trade UR Evolution Stones for those tokens that you use to get stat bonuses on UR Plus, which is probably the best thing that they have announced, because that is actually not so bad. Also, another little interjection is that the coupons, like the coupon reward and the wheel event that we had, like the website wheel, that was limited to 50,000 total for everybody, which means about only 530 people got it. I didn't read that if that was on the website back when I checked it out, so I apologize for anybody who did not get it, as you are likely no longer to get it anymore. So yeah, anyways, that's going to wrap up today's One Punch Man the Strongest video. If you did enjoy, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Join the Discord server in the description down below, and I'll see you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Bye.